Hi, I'm Gary from Martin Lynch & Sons, and today I'm going to be talking about a really versatile little digital interface. Not only will this do your audio digital kind of interfacing for various softwares, whether it be FT8, WinLink or all those sorts of things, but I'm going to be using this also to program the firmware on a G106. Now, we've been speaking to Shigu now probably for since this radio's come out, asking them for some modifications, especially to things like microphone gain and TX power. Well, they've actually come through and they've now produced some really good updates to the firmware. And as part of that, we've now got mic gain and TX power, so we've got high, medium and low. So I'm going to update that, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this little tiny device here. Now, there's no reason, I don't think, that we can't also use this for, say, something like programming channels and stuff into an 818 or an 897 or an 857 Yaesu FT range. Just one little thing about this little device, this doesn't overcome the FT891 issue where you've got to run 2 USB ports. And I wanted to show you just, it's a very unfortunate sort of situation, but if you need to run 2 USB ports, we do this little USB isolator here, which might help if you have any issues, so just bear that in mind. The Digirig itself is on our website, and if you just depending on which radio you're going to have, so you can select here from either the Yaesu range, or if you've got the TX500 Discovery radio or Kenwood or whatever, you can choose from the list. We also carry in stock, I think we've got some Elecraft ones also, so if you need any of that sort of stuff, then do say. We've actually got we're doing them in complete sets to try and keep things nice and straightforward and easy. If there's something that you need particular for a particular radio and Digirig do the actual cable sets, then please let us know. We'll try and get them in on the next order for you. That's not a problem. So okay, let's use this little box then to update some firmware. Well, the first thing you're going to need to do, and for those of you that don't actually know this radio, this is a Shigu G106. It's probably one of the most talked about little radios, I think, over the last probably few weeks. It's cheap and cheerful. It's presently, I think, £349, and there may be some specials, so please do call the store just to make sure, or check with our website. But it's an incredibly useful little portable QRP radio. It's very basic, but it's absolutely magic, really, I think, for just simple QRP stuff. If you double this up with something like with our JPC range of antennas, the portable antennas or the super antennas, then I think you've got an absolutely amazing little portable setup. I mean, this absolutely fits in your pocket. And if you're like me, where you've got sort of something like one of the sort of LiFePo 4 batteries or something like the motorbike batteries, which are as light as a feather, then this is just an absolute killer little setup. So let's crack on and do some firmware with it then. The radio is presently off, okay, and I've got the connections in the back of the radio here. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, and it really is as simple as on the back of the little Digirig here, you've actually got an audio sort of cable, and you've got a serial cable there, which just plugs in, and then they just plug straight into the back of the radio set itself here. Now, what I'm going to do, okay, there are some prerequisites that you're going to need to do. You're going to need to pop off over to the CQ Xiegu website, and here it is here. We'll try and put links and stuff into the in the description, and we'll also put links and stuff on the web listing for the G106. So just a little word of warning, there are a couple of other websites out there that have actually got some firmware on them and they almost look as if they are CGU websites, but unfortunately I did have some problems with the firmware where I downloaded it, and it actually bricked the radio for sort of 20 minutes or so while I tried to fix it. So just bear that in mind. Make sure you download the files from the official CGU website, which is CGU, and as I say, we'll put links to that in the description. Now what you need to do is navigate over to the G106 data download, and you're looking for the RAR file. Now there's just one little thing about RAR files. I often get questions that it's a very strange compression mode. It's not. It's used quite a lot actually, especially in the open source sort of world. You need a piece of software called 7-zip, which is the one that I tend to use, and you can download that from 7-zip.org, and again we'll put links to this in the description. So you quite simply just download the software there, install that, get it running, and then you can actually deal with the RAR files. Now once you've done that, you just need to nip over here, you just click on the file, download it and save it somewhere where you can find it easily, and we should be able to then sort of really kick off. And what I've done here, I've actually saved it all to a file which I've called G106 video stuff, and I've already unzipped it. So you can see here that it's associated with 7-zip, and I've just asked it here just to unzip, and I've unzipped the 2 files which are inside. Now you also need another piece of software called Terraterm. Now that one you can find again on the interweb. Let me just find that for you. I'm sure I had it up there. Did I have it there? No, probably not. Well, it doesn't matter. You can go to good old Google and just type in Terraterm. Okay, and you can go to Terraterm download, and you want to stay away from the ads. You want to go to the Terraterm open source project, and you should be able to just zip along here, and you can see Terraterm homepage, and you can actually get the latest version from this website. So you just click on that, go to the download page, choose the Terraterm that you're after, and there's the latest one. Just download that, and you can get that down as a zip or an exe file. So once you've done that and you've installed this software, you're going to need to configure it. Now I've just had a little bit of fun configuring this, but essentially what you need to do is when you start the software up, it will essentially come up with a window. Let me start the software up for you and you can see what I mean. Will it work? There you go. Right, so you're going to get this window come up here, and what we're after, we need it to go to a serial port. And what we're going to ask, I know that this is this little the Digirig is actually on COM3, okay, and I also know that yeah, I know that it's on COM3, and I know it's actually working okay. So we just say okay, but then we need to go to setup. Now this is where I had a little bit of fun and games earlier on. You need to go to serial port settings. You need to choose the COM speed and everything. So I know that it's 115/200 is what you want. So you need to set the COM port, might be different for you, by the way, so I'm just saying that. So you need to set the correct COM port, the speed to 115/200, 8 data bits, no parity, 1 stop bit, and no flow control, and then just click on new setting. It's a bit of an unfortunate term that, but there you go, that's what it is. Once you've done that, the software is actually pretty much configured. You then need to go to the radio, okay, make sure that the radio is plugged into DC, and what you're going to do is you're going to hold this knob here in, and then you're just going to briefly press the power button, and what you'll notice is there's a little green light come on, and now Terraterm is now counting down. So you can see here that it's telling us that the bootloader version of the firmware and what you want to do. So it's saying if you press number 1, we can update the firmware. So I'm going to press number 1, and it will erase all of the data that's actually stored on the radio. Again, just like to point out, we're using the Digirig to do this. All right, it's just really, really good. Now it's asking for the firmware file. So what we need to do at this point, we go to File, and then go down to transfer, and we're going to go X modem, and we're going to say we're going to send. Okay, now we need to check this 1K option. I didn't do it last time. We need to check that 1K option, and now you can see the firmware file here, the G106 firmware 1.2B03. Select that one and then just say OK, open, and then it will transfer the file over. Again, we're using the Digirig, just absolutely amazing. And as I say, I'm pretty certain that we can use this for sort of other radios as well. So some stuff like the FT818 and stuff, it would act as a really good programming cable. If I remember rightly, you've got to set the radio in send or receive. Right, okay, so now it's telling us that the process is complete, and it says basically remove or disconnect the power cable and connect it later. What it's saying is basically repower it via the DC cable. So just pull it out, reconnect it. Okay, and now when we turn it on, we should have all the new firmware, and there you have it. It is working. Wasn't too scary, and if I remember rightly, there you go. So now we have a mic gain. Oh, here it's gone again. It's got a mic gain control and a TX power. So there you go, and you should have there you go, high, low and mid, I think there's, so low, high and mid power. So there you go. How amazing. So we've updated the G106. As I say, we have these things in stock, and we have various versions of this in stock. But again, if there's something that you sort of see or you want, then do give us a call. You can drop us a line at support@hamradio.co.uk. Ask us pretty much whatever you need to know, and we'll try and find out for you or get whatever cables you need. And yeah, so there you go. So look, thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing you another time. Many thanks. Bye bye.